Hi, and welcome to video number 2. In this video, you get to learn how to determine your skill set and what you're good at. Now, this is going to be a fun video because you get to learn more about yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, so this can apply to help you find more about what you want to build your consulting business around, but you should also get a lot more out of that from this video. So, how do you determine what you're good at? Now, some of you might have some blank faces right now. Some of you might have a good idea of what you want to do in terms of a consulting business. But if you're drawing a blank and you don't know what to do, then I want to help you find that in this particular video. Now, this is not limited to marketing consulting businesses only. Now, if you want to do a marketing consultant business and consult businesses, then you can do that, and I'll provide a lot of information in the videos later on. But in this particular video, I'm going to help you find what you're good at if you don't already know. And this will also help you determine, let's say for example that you think you're good at website design, or you think you're good at graphics, or you think you're good at websites, marketing, and this and that. Now, this video will also help you figure out ways you can sell yourself in terms of consulting and help you figure out, most importantly, if you are going to enjoy what you're doing. Because the worst case scenario is you think you're good at something and you start doing it and you realize that you hate it. So this is what this video is all about. So let me ask you some questions. I want you to think for a moment. What kind of learner are you? Are you an audio learner? Are you a visual learner? Are you a person that, if you're watching this video, you get more if I do like screen capture stuff? Or you're the type of person that learns more by audio, by text? Are you a hands-on type person? The reason why I'm asking you this question is because when you're running your marketing consulting business, you could do more hands-on. Do you want to do more service-based, aka hands-on? Do you want to show people how to do something more visually or audio? Or if you're an audio person, you might want to do more advising or, webinars, things like that. So what kind of learner are you? Now keep in mind that you also have to focus it towards whoever you are promoting your consultations towards. So that's something that is good to find out, whether they're audio, video, or hands-on, and things like that. Now, let's begin to brainstorm. Let's dig deep. One thing you can start out with is you can ask your friends. You can ask your friends what you're good at. Now, your friends often can tell or have a better view of what you're good at, because a lot of times your friends can tell you, oh, you're good at this and this. And you think to yourself, wait, really? Am I really good at this and this? Because sometimes it's harder to see in yourself, what you're good at, and, observe your own self. Your friends and your family, forgot that. Ask your friends and your family so that they can give you some ideas. From that, I want you to create a list of things that you are good at. I'm sure you know what you're good at and what you're not as good at. So create a list of things, do some brainstorming, cut off the internet, pause this video, go somewhere where there's no internet, and just begin to create a list of things that you're good at. Now, the reason why I say go somewhere quiet without internet is because internet is distracting. So you just want to get away from all the distracting stuff and create a list of things that you're good at. Even you can go towards things that you enjoy and start jotting down those things. Why do you enjoy those things? What makes those things interesting? And you can jot down, why are you interested in those things, or why are you good at those things? What kind of person would be interested in those things? So you're thinking to yourself not only what you're good at and what you can create your consulting business around, but you're also thinking about the customer why they need it, what problems do they face, what kind of solutions, and what kind of money will they be willing to pay, to fulfill that problem or fix that problem or learn from you or improve themselves. Then you want to think about, okay, do you know your strengths and your weaknesses? So I want you to jot your strengths and your weaknesses. Now, the specific method that I'm about to show you will reveal to you deeper. So that's what we're talking about, digging deep. We're digging deep into your strengths and to your weaknesses. Now, how do you do that? How do you figure out your strengths and weaknesses? Because sometimes, if you think about it, you might put a strength that is really a weakness, or you might put a weakness that is really a strength. So there are a couple ways to go about doing this. And one of the ways is to find out what personality type you are. Now, how do you figure that out? There's a test called the socionics test. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my computer and show you step by step how you can find out your personality type, then how you can figure out more about your strengths and more about your weaknesses so that you can figure out, is this consulting business going to work with me or not? Now, the purpose of this video is not totally to go out and figure out the services that you're providing. I'm going to talk about that in the later videos, but in this video, I particularly want you to understand more about yourself, more about your strengths, and more about your weaknesses. So once you take the socionics test, which is only 4 questions, we're going to Google your personality. So with that said, let's move on to my computer and let me show you step by step how you can take the test and how you can find more about your strengths and weaknesses to make sure that the consulting business that you go into is something that you're good at and something that you're going to enjoy. Because think about it. If you're good at it and you enjoy it, then when you sell your product, you sell yourself, you sell your consulting service to whoever that is, it's going to be more believable. They're going to see that you genuinely actually care. And that's the reason why our system here will work well with creating your consulting business. So let's move on to socionics test. Okay, so what I want you to do is go to google.com and then type in socionics test. That's SOCIONICS space test. So if you click search, you're going to get the top. These are basically just a bunch of tests that you could take. If you go here and you click on the socionics type assistant turbo, as you can see, it says the shortest test ever. It's a 4-question test. Or it's actually, You read this, it says, which population can you relate to the most? Are you involved in what is happening outside and around them? Are you open, often talkative? Basically what this is, it's a personality test. And what it's going to give you is, if you answer them honestly, it's going to give you a 4-letter word. Now, I'm not going to go through this. I'm going to let you do this on your own. But mine is an ESFJ. So what you could do is you could go to Google. The second step is go to Google and type in that 4-letter word. Now, the 4-letter word is basically Myers-Briggs. If you've heard of Myers-Briggs, it's pretty much the same thing. What this allows you to see are your strengths and your weaknesses, so you can see, what kind of person you are. Most likely you know what kind of person you are, but what I have found over the years is I've showed people this and they read it and they read, the profile about themselves. This is nothing to do with astrology or anything like that. This is actual personality profile. So this is really you. So if I go to ESFJ, I usually pick the top few and look over them. So for example, the ESFJ is a caregiver, and you can read through basically, ESFJs are people persons. They love people. So I know that I'm a people person, so I would much rather deal with people up front. And I would actually much rather, I've actually enjoyed doing consulting work in terms of just giving advice. Service-based is okay. I'd rather outsource that kind of stuff. But I rather deal with people person face to face. I love it. I like to talk to people on the phone. That's why I enjoy it. Now, some of you may not enjoy that. Some of you actually may enjoy doing service-based consulting more so than giving advice only. So that's why I say figure out who you are, what your strengths, what your weaknesses are. Read through your profile. And one thing I like is if I go to this page and I scroll down to the bottom, and it says careers for ESFJs, and it also says ESFJ relationships. Now under ESFJ relationships, it shows me the strengths and the weaknesses. So as you can see, the strengths here, it says put forth effort to fulfill their duties and their obligations, blah blah blah. They're service oriented, not necessarily in the service projects, but they want to please others, and they take their commitments seriously, blah blah blah. But then I can also see my weaknesses, and if you do this test, you can also see your weaknesses too, because if you build your consulting business and surround it and make sure that the services that you provide, because of your strengths, you don't focus too much on your weaknesses, but you can if you want to, but just keep in mind that you can increase your efficiency rate by focusing on what you're good at already. And you'll more so enjoy doing that too. Now, if I look at the careers for ESFJs, I scroll down to the bottom, I can kind of see the different types of things here, the possible career paths for an ESFJ. But here's the kicker. I'm showing you this not really to show you, oh, you can go do childcare, teaching and stuff like that. I'm showing you this because a lot of times you can get along with these types of people. Because you're an ESFJ, you think like these types of people can be your potential customers. Because you think already like them, and you can relate very, very easily to them, I have found over the years, I can grab this and go after, teaching is not necessarily the best client necessarily, but I can go after counselors, psychological counselors, accounting, accountants, CPAs, administrators, things like that. So that's what I wanted to show you and show you how easy that was. Simply take the test, step 2, type this into here, click on the first one or first few you see, find your strengths and find your weaknesses, and then you can build your consulting business. And I guarantee you, once you have gone through this video and you have learned more about yourself, then creating a consulting business and finding opportunities out there that might come out towards you is going to be so much easier.